referee this afternoon comes from England, Air Commodore Lamb. So into the shadow, under the far stand, a packed house here, very nearly a packed house at Rodney Parade, tremendous excitement. Young Ebervale halfbacks, 22 and 20, Turner and Grindle. They're likely to have a very severe testing because it's one tremendous back row that the All Blacks are fielding. Tremaine, Nathan and Lahore. Strawn has come in at the last moment in place of Meads. Steele again. Quick one to Gray at the front of the line out. Referee not satisfied. Not straight, I should think. So they scrum it down 15 yards in. And this is Glyn Turner from Ebervale, steel worker, 20 years old, putting it in for Monmouthshire, who haven't had the greatest of seasons. They've lost to Glamorgan and Gloucestershire. Not as strong as they'd like to be because of injuries, but geared today for an all-out effort. Either put in crooked or foot up. I think put in crooked. McCormick takes the penalty on the 25. Certainly the All Blacks taking no chances, having old scores to settle on this ground. Incidentally, Monmouthshire beat the Kiwis rather, just after the war, when Charlie Saxton, the present manager, was the Kiwis scrum half. It's another one they remember. And low, and it's knocked on by Tremaine. And going in trouble, in goes those Monmouthshire forwards. Now, can they ruck it? They can't. It's out on the New Zealand side, out to Steele. Tremaine coming up on the halfway line. Sorry about this low sun, but very soon now we hope it'll be dropping underneath that stand. So much depends on this Monmouthshire pack, if they can hold the New Zealanders for 80 minutes. Nobody has been able to do it yet. The West Wales pack very nearly did. So did one of the French sides in midweek. Didn't quite last the course. So it's Glyn Turner for Monmouthshire. And the New Zealand backs almost up to the hindmost foot. Monmouthshire have got 4 internationals, 3 up front. Denzel Williams, Brian Price, Dennis Hughes, the captain, playing at number 8. Nice little kick by Turner. It's useful. Steele's underneath it. And Lahore covering magnificently as always. It's on the New Zealand 25. In they pile, those Monmouthshire forwards. And there's an offence there on the ground. A kick, a penalty to New Zealand. Cormick again. Line out just inside the All Blacks half. And the right wing is Laurie Daniels, the captain of Pontypool. Wakadaithan working around the blind side. Wakanaithan, who broke his jaw early in the tour, to think that he hasn't played in an international. What a reserve to have. And this time a penalty to Monmouthshire, and coming up to take the kick from just inside the opposing half, Keith Jarrett, playing today on a wing. He's only played on the wing twice in his life before. Of course, he plays centre for Newport, and full back for Wales when he made that sensational debut against England. It must be all of 60 yards if you allow for the angle, but he's got the breeze behind him. Drizzle still sweeping down the ground. Not very much of it. 5 minutes gone. Less than a year ago, Keith Jarrett was playing for Monmouth School in the Roslyn Park School Sevens up in London. He's still only 19. It looks pretty good from here. Oh, he's just missed it. He had the length. Very fine effort by Keith Jarrett. Well, the New Zealanders will have to be very careful about giving away penalty kicks anywhere inside their own half if this is to be Jarrett's form this afternoon. Drop out by Earl Curtin, the out half. And some bad ball for the New Zealanders. That's Paul Watts of Newport, number 6. Brian Price is there, number 4. Let's have a look at some counties numbers. Number 7, Arthur Hughes, with a beard, in very fine form, as fit as he's ever been. His brother is the captain, number 8, Dennis Hughes. Paul Watts is on the other side, on the blind side. And a penalty to the All Blacks just inside their 25, taken by McCormick. And after a relatively quiet start, the ball hasn't yet got beyond the out half on either side. So far, this Monmouthshire pack holding their own. Just inside the halfway line, All Blacks half. And going, here's a man for the county's back row to watch. If they don't watch him, it may be a case of going, gone. He's a wonderful little runner from the base of the scrummage. Well, the All Blacks got it, but not very cleanly. Hacked on by a Monmouthshire boot. So the counties have gained about a dozen yards. And there's the county's captain, Dennis Hughes. 1 Welsh cap against the All Blacks this year. And 16 is Walker Nathan in the black jersey. Caught a glimpse there, I think, of the county centres lying pretty flat up. Sturdy tacklers both, Ken Jones and Arthur Lewis, and they may well need to be if the New Zealanders start getting good ball. It's a long one for Dennis Hughes, but it's Walker Nathan slipping it to Lahore. Lahore over the halfway line. Oh, magnificently back. Here goes Earl Curtin. His kick is charged down by the scrum half, Glyn Turner. And the first real glimpse of an All Black surge through their forwards. County's 10 yards line. Steele throwing in. Obstruction, presumably at the line out or offside. Penalty kicker, Barry Edwards. It's a beauty. Down into the All Blacks 25. So here's Steele throwing in for the All Blacks. And again, a quick one to Gray. Going, a kick down to the full-back. Edwards coming out, making his angle. Safely back into touch, just outside the 25. Nothing much in it for height at the line-out. Brian Price, about 6'4", and Strawn and Jennings. What a reserve to have as lock, Arthur Jennings. See Monmouthshire playing 7 forwards there. Arthur Hughes back at fly half. So if they could get the ball, they'd have an overlap situation. And also, of course, an extra man in defence if the All Blacks come away from the back of the line-out. Midfield, just out from the All Blacks 25. Number 1, Denzel Williams, who pound for pound is about the same weight as Brian Muller, around about 17 stone, when his irresistible force meets an immovable object. Really very little in it up front at the moment. And that's, and I think put in crooked, judging from the referee's reaction. He pointed at the scrum half. Here goes Lahore. Well brought down, it's out to Going, trying to slip it out on the blind side to Tremaine, and they're up to the halfway line. 10 minutes gone, no score at Rodney Parade. And a mark by Laurie Daniels, Pontypool skipper, right wing for the counties. He's missed it. It's Cottrell Playing instead of an injured McRae today, not seriously injured McRae, this fine inside centre for New Zealand. But very skillful and balanced runner Davis is the outside centre, outside Cottrell today. And a new wing, Thorne, who's normally a centre, playing today for the first time on this tour as a right wing. Curtin, a long kick, a bit too far downfield. Looks as if it might bounce just, no, not quite over the goal line. Well picked up by Barry Edwards, and he had it charged down by Curtin. So it turned out to be a useful kick. I think he meant it to go a bit farther to the right. And the All Blacks, for the first time, deep in the Monmouthshire 25. So Jarrett for Monmouthshire. That's a fine leap by Brian Price in the scrum half. Aiming for touch, doesn't quite find it. McCormick. He didn't consider the possibility of a drop goal at all. Happy to put it back into touch for his forwards. And it's the Monmouthshire hooker, when they get the ball back, who's going to throw this in at the line-out. Brian Wilkins, who's been playing a long time for Abertillery, about 7 seasons. As you see, just out from the county's 25. Still no score. Brian Price again, and another nice little kick by Turner. Typical Welsh scrum half play. He's 20 years old, this scrum half. He's had a Welsh trial. Number 9, Glyn Turner. And there's Lahore and Nathan at the back of the line out. Tremaine, what a back row. Kelvin Tremaine, who's in tremendous form against Scotland. County's 10-yard line. Not straight. So down they go on the county's 10 yards line, and the referee can get them straight and 15 yards in from touch. And it's Glyn Turner to put it in for Monmouthshire. And I don't think the counties intend to run it, even if they get the heel. They're lying up pretty flat behind the scrum. Sid going very quickly round on him, Mari. Counties giving a bit. Counties are giving a bit. Offside and a penalty to the counties. Well, very little in it so far. The initiative held by the All Blacks, but only once within striking distance to the counties line. It's a long kick, and it's a fine one. Deep down to the All Blacks 25. The breeze behind him. And again the bearded Arthur Hughes is standing out from this line out on New Zealand ball. Number 7, here he comes. Backing down on the open side as Turner puts it in for Monmouthshire, just inside the 25. Now we'll see whether Monmouthshire can get the heel and whether they can run it this time. See those All Black centres almost as far up as they can be. And front row this time in trouble. Monmouthshire front row, probably the hooker. McCormick takes the penalty. So far, all credit to the Monmouthshire forwards and to their halfbacks, particularly the scrum half, but a rather muted performance by the All Blacks pack so far. Hooker throwing in again for Monmouthshire. Walker-Nathan quite able to get it back. Hacked on by Dennis Hughes, the captain. McCormick back towards his line, pursued by Arthur Hughes. was the sandy-haired centre Ken Jones coming through there on McCormick. I must say McCormick hasn't let his side down on this trip. Been a fine fullback, ever ready to join in the attacks. Again, the hooker throwing in at the line out for Monmouthshire. On the 25. Long one, how's it going to bounce? It's Tremaine holding it. Here comes that New Zealand surge. Good spoiling by counties, and they're going in now in their turn. And it's the Monmouthshire put in a very handy attacking position, almost dead centre, just to the left of the posts. Within drop-kicking range too. An important heel then on their own head. And the scrum half in trouble. Put in crooked and another penalty. It's a pity that should happen from the Monmouthshire point of view. A good attacking position. And a bad slice by McCormick. Dennis Hughes, new Welsh camp at number 8, whipping up his pack to a fine effort here. And Brian Price standing at the back of the line out. He has it. The referee adjudged that not straight. The All Blacks take a scrummage. And going to put it in on the open side. Both scrum halves having trouble getting it cleanly into the scrum. Kneeling, lowering in the scrum, and a penalty to Monmouthshire. And here's a great chance for Jarrett. A really splendid chance of landing the first blow. Only about 6 yards out from the 25. 18 minutes have gone, no score. And Keith Jarrett, with I suppose a 32, 33 yard kick. And Jarrett being the kicker, this really ought to be 3 points to Monmouthshire, and what a roar there'll be at Newport. Keith Jarrett, who's scored 108 points so far this season for club and county. Oh, he's missed it badly. I think most people would have backed Jarrett to get that one 4 times out of 5. So, still 0-all. And the county's missing the chance of a great psychological advantage, the first score. Curtain dropping out. Hacked on by Steele, and I'm afraid the sun is still with us over there. Dropping very, very slowly, it seems, in the sky. But it's a lovely afternoon, crisp air. Midway between the All Blacks 25 and the halfway line. Going for the All Blacks. Steele in trouble with the back row and the scrum half. Up to the 25. Plenty of spirit in this county's pack. Dennis Hughes very nicely at the back of the line out. And a good heel. Scrum half couldn't quite pick it up, and a penalty against the New Zealanders for an offence there on the ground. And surely this time Jarrett will make no mistake. It's just a little bit straighter from the other side of the posts. Exactly 20 minutes gone in the first half, and Jarrett making his mark just inside the 25. So this is chance number 3 that Keith Jarrett has had of putting Monmouthshire in front. Once from very long range, just inside the halfway line from far out, and once from the other side of the posts from very much the same angle and distance as this. No mistake this time. Monmouthshire 3, The All Blacks 0. Jarrett again a Welsh hero, and just the start the counties team prayed for. The first score. This will really put their tails up. But a long, long way to go. McCormick kicking off again to the All Blacks. Phillips was under that, one of the locks, couldn't pick it up. There goes Walker Nathan, tremendous pace. Walker Nathan up to the line, and the several forwards in support. Lahore is there, and he gives it to Gray. Right under the post now. Does it come back on the New Zealand side? It does to Going. And there was a counties man offside, and it must be a penalty to the All Blacks. Well, that's really a tragedy from the counties' point of view, having got in the lead and having, as it seemed, given away the lead on a plate. McCormick, interestingly, has kicked exactly the same number of points as Jarrett this season, 108, but in fewer games, in 9 games. Here he goes. That's 3 points all. McCormick in a long line of great fullbacks. What names he has to follow. Don Clark, Bob Scott, Cook, Napier. There it is. 3 points all. Nearly 25 minutes gone. And it's the fly half taking a quick one. And Laurie Daniels very nearly picked that up on the right wing. It's Walker Nathan again. He just can't keep him out of the picture. Glyn Turner for Monmouthshire, and almost the first one against the head. It's a good heel. Charged down by Tremaine. Kelvin Tremaine hunting up the blind side. A man who in his time has scored well past 100 tries in top-class rugby. Very, very dangerous runner near the line. He only needs to smell the goal line and woof, that's it. Count his 10 yards line. Nathan again coming more and more into the game, slipping it to Ken Gray, the prop forward. Cottrell tried to take it from him. Strawn is there, Jennings is there. Oh, what a lovely back from the maul. Here goes old Curtin, and a long pass out to Steele. Steele, good cover defence. Steele still going. He noops the pass out to Nathan, and the pass was forward. Desperate cover defence by the counties, and the game really warming up now. My word, the ball came back quickly there from the maul. It's Walker Nathan. Leg injury. What an embarrassment of riches this magnificent All Black side has got in the back row. There's Tremaine in the middle of this picture. Dropped in Paris. Kirkpatrick came in, played a blinder. Got injured. Tremaine came back, played a blinder against Scotland. Walker Nathan out of the hunt because of this broken jaw. Lahore himself, ace coverer, magnificent player. Really very, very fine back row. There's Arthur Jennings, number 11, part Fijian, and Sam Strawn, who's played in test matches with Colin Meads at lock. 11 Jennings, 9 Strawn. "25 minutes gone, 3 points all, and it's the county's ball, 10 yards out from their own goal line. And one they'll very much want to win on their own head." Glyn Turner then, 20-year-old Ebervale scrum half. They look to have it a little bit on the retreat, and it's going offside. A little bit too eager coming round there. So it's fullback to take the penalty. Barry Edwards, steelworker from Tredegar. Barry Edwards so far has kicked extremely well this afternoon. almost, I think, seen the end of the sun. It's got a little bit further to drop over that far stand. Steele to throw in for the All Blacks. Curtin from going. The referee not satisfied that that throw was straight. So the counties get the put in, just inside their own half. Barry Edwards has come up into the line on the blind side, and again they're getting pushed. They're heeling going back. But the New Zealander is trapped offside on the far side of that scrum. And Jarrett, is he going to have a go from there? My word, he is. From his own 10-yard line, virtually. Just a yard in front of it. This would be a tremendous kick, even with the breeze behind him. It's 55 yards straight to halfway. Another 10, of course, to the 10-yard line, say 8. 65, 73, and allow for the angle. 75 yards plus. The confidence of this remarkable young footballer. And who doubts that if he middles it, who doubts that he'll fail for length? Immensely strong in the thigh. It's, my goodness, it's not so far off. Tremaine. Oh, Tremaine missing his kick for touch, unlike a New Zealand forward that. One of the things about a side which does the basics and the essentials so magnificently is that all the forwards normally kick extremely well. Thorne at the line out, and Turner trying a drop goal. McCormick. Not very spectacular, but safe. Nearly half an hour gone in the first half. A penalty goal to both sides. And here comes Brian Price. It hit the referee there. He was waiting for an advantage, and he's got to have him scrubbing down. Drizzle has stopped. The wind keeping up behind the counties, and the All Blacks have it from the tight, pushing. They're getting a lot of weight in this shove now, holding it beautifully. Counties have to be very careful not to get offside. Scrum half got to keep back in the flank forwards. This is Paul Watts on to going. And the referee not satisfied about it. Crowd thought it was all right. Here goes Lahore like a tank. Well checked by Brian Price. Going, having his kick charged down by Dennis Hughes. Arthur Hughes is there too. Paul Watts. Here goes Curtin, the fly half. Tackled by Ken Jones. Brian Price well out to the fly half. Grindle. That's a pretty useful kick by Grindle. McCormick going back for it. Might be in trouble, and he's caught. No, he's not. Yes, he is. 5 yards out. Now, can those counties forwards ruck it? They can. They've got it. Can they move it? Can they move it? Oh, yes, it's Ken Jones going through. Arthur Lewis. Grindle hacking on. Thorne caught with it. In they go again. Lahore has it. And it's back to going. And that's the most exciting play so far. Fine effort by the counties forwards. This is what their captain said before the match. They must get there first to the loose ball. And a penalty for an offence at the back of the line out, leaving the line out, I think, before the throw-in took place. With 10 minutes to go in the first half. And a little ironic, here's Keith Jarrett again, that on a day made for open football, neither side yet has managed to cross the other's line. But the way this counties side is playing at the moment, with plenty of confidence and fire up front, there could be a tremendous result here this afternoon. But the All Blacks' strength usually gathers momentum as the minutes tick away in the second half. So, on the 25-yard line, halfway in from touch. 6-3 to Monmouthshire. He's had 4 shots at goal, Keith Jarrett. 2 of them have come up trumps. 2 penalty goals to 1. The county's lead after half an hour's play. Bill Davis, the centre, giving it to McCormick. And it does a great thing to a side's morale when the noses are in front. Well-placed kick-off by McCormick. Jennings coming up underneath it. Here goes Little going, and there was a knock-on there, was there? Yes, there was, and it's the put-in by Glyn Turner. Straight back to the full-back. Midway between the 25 and the halfway line on the county's side. And what a side the New Zealanders have fielded in midweek, remembering past results here on this famous ground. 12 internationals, 7 of them up front, even without Colin Meads, who's sitting this one out in the stand. Under suspension, of course, for this match and the next. Steele for the All Blacks. And a penalty, yes, offside. They were closer than 10 yards from that line out in the county's midfield. And here's a gilt-edged chance for McCormick to square things off. Not quite dead centre. Fergie McCormick, as tough as they come, a really spirited attacker. And not a bad goal kicker, as his record proclaims. Not quite in the Don Clark mould in that respect. And a great job for his side on this short tour. He's got it, and that's 6 points all. 4 penalties, 2 apiece. About 7 minutes to go until half-time, plus injuries. Six all. Grindle kicking off for the Counties. The Ebervale out half. Lahore. Caught by Wilkins, the hooker. Slipping it to Major, the New Zealand hooker. Back to going. An offence on the ground. Not releasing the ball after a tackle. Handling off the floor. And here's Jarrett in business yet again. Almost dead centre. 10-yard line. He could well get this, and it really would be a shame if this match was to be decided on such a day for open football by just penalty goals alone. Breeze keeping up right behind him. I don't suppose you'll have any problem with the length. Six all. 9-6, dead true. Out of 5, and the last 3 all successful. Keith Jarrett from Newport. 9 points to 6. 3 penalty goals to 2 penalty goals. And yet again, the All Blacks are behind. And they won't forget the last time they played here against Newport. They lost by a drop goal. The Newport club, drop goal to 0. It looked to be a knock-on by Gareth Howells of Ebervale, one of the county's props, a policeman. So going for the All Blacks. This has been very much a battle forward so far. Forwards, halves and full-backs. The ball hasn't been run down the line on either side. Let's see if the All Blacks run it this time. McCormick was up in the line, and stout defence there by Ken Jones with his Sandy here. Here's Steele covering for McCormick. Pursued by Arthur Lewis. Well, I said earlier that there were some stout defenders in the county's midfield. Ken Jones and Arthur Lewis, and Ken Jones went jolly well there. Can they pick up a rolling ball? But the whistle has gone. Referee not satisfied. It's Paul Watts of Newport going off, I think, for brief repairs. Number 6. And doing a great job for his side, number 8 there. Dennis Hughes of Newbridge, who captains his club as well. Sid going, putting it in for the All Blacks. Curtin. Giving it to Cottrell and running into trouble in the shape of Arthur Lewis. And a penalty against the counties just outside the 25. Edwards, the fullback, under pressure, and doing pretty well, even though he sliced it, to get it safely into touch. Well, so far, the New Zealanders, when they have run the ball, have made no headway at all in midfield, thanks to a very stout defence by Monmouthshire. Just inside the Monmouthshire half. Knock on there, and an advantage being played by the referee. It's interesting that on the New Zealand throw, the ball came back on the county's side. 2 minutes to go until half-time, plus injuries, and Steele again for the All Blacks. Hacked on by the fly half. Straight to Cottrell, the inside centre. The fullback safely getting it into touch. (9-6) in the last minutes of the first half. 5 penalty goals, the only scores so far. And Graham Thorne picked as a centre, a sensation in New Zealand trials, the thrower in. Very long pass out to Curtin. Cottrell, long pass out to Davis. Not an easy one to take. Cottrell again. Here goes Laurie Daniels. This is Thorne, Graham Thorne going back for it. And with a host of scarlet jerseys coming down on him, he did the only wise thing, put it straight back into touch. Well, this New Zealand backline is being hustled into errors. And there's no doubt that so far the evidence they can be beaten today for the first time on the tour. It's the captain, Dennis Hughes. Going and Laidlaw. How lucky the New Zealanders are to have 2 scrum halves of that quality. Penalty to the counties. And Gray asking the referee what it was for, a front row offence. And Jarrett, again, from a dozen yards out from the 25. It's now in injury time in the first half. I make this his 6th attempt at penalty points. Missed the first one from a long, long way out, the halfway line. Missed the second, which was a lot easier. Got the next 3. And this will be 35 to 40 yards, well within his compass. The old-fashioned method with the tip of the ball pointing towards the posts. He comes up dead straight. Settles down. Straight as an arrow, and the counties almost unbelievably lead New Zealand, the New Zealanders I should say, this is not an international, by 12 points to 6. 4 penalty goals kicked by Keith Jarrett of Newport. And the referee has decided that still some injury time to be played in this first half. McCormick restarting. He's going, working around the blind side, keeping the ball in. Full-back under pressure again, Barry Edwards. It'll be a good mark if he gets it. And the referee has awarded the mark. Hasn't let his side down, Barry Edwards. He's been under a good deal of pressure. And there's a man laid out back on the county's 10 yards line. County's player. 42 minutes gone in this first half now. Number 2 there is Ken Gray, who stormed away from that line-out to make an All Blacks try at Murrayfield last Saturday. Lahore 13, Curtin 19. Not a genius, Curtin, but my word, he does the basics of the game so well. Solid and hard, and he runs straight, safe hands, quick transfer. Number 3, Gareth Howells. So after all that, it's Barry Edwards, the ever-veiled fullback. The start and touch. Here goes Lahore, looking for support. McCormick up in the line. McCormick again. Good defence by the counties. And an All Black laid out this time on the touchline. This is tremendous counties defence. They've worked really hard with a great purpose, this Monmouthshire side, under their coach, David Harris of Newbridge, the Newbridge coach. And he must be rubbing his hands with delight and praying that they can somehow keep up this tremendous pressure. Anyway, the whistle has gone for half-time, with Monmouthshire leading the New Zealanders by 4 penalty goals to 2, 12 points to 6. And the whistle going for half-time with the scoreboard showing Monmouthshire in front. 4 penalty goals to 2 penalty goals, 12 points to 6. Here we go then into the second half. Death or glory now for the county's side. 6 from Ebervale, 4 from Newbridge, 3 from Newport, 1 Pontypool and 1 Abertillery. Keith Jarrett, a long one down towards the corner. McCormick under it. He hasn't found touch. Taken by the fullback Barry Edwards for Monmouthshire. And you can be absolutely sure that this is where the New Zealanders under Brian Lahore will rouse themselves for a tremendous second half effort. I'm sure he wasn't satisfied with the performance of his side in the first half. Better possession from the line out, and going missing out his fly half. Cottrell missing his kick. Here goes the scrum half, Turner. Turner kicking down towards the corner. It's going to bounce nicely for him. Must gain ground, I think. And McCormick having to run it into touch. Nailed by Keith Jarrett, only a few yards out, about 10 yards out from the line. Now let's see whether Brian Price, who was jumping beautifully in the first half, can get some more clean possession. The tap back. And Turner coming in, linking up with his forwards and giving it to Walker Nathan. Who gets the ball from the ruck? It's out on the New Zealand side. Here goes McCormick up in the line, slipping it to Major, the hooker. Up to the 10-yard line, and the whistle has gone for an infringement just out from the All Blacks 25. Must, I think, have been a forward pass. So Monmouthshire have the put in. Monmouthshire getting the strike, but a penalty against them. Front row in trouble, hooker, I think. Going, and up and under. Up comes Barry Edwards to take it. Oh, it's a very nasty one for him, and it bounces into touch. Just out from the 25. So Graham Thorne, new wing for the All Blacks. Curtin. That'll be a nasty one to handle. Very well caught, beautifully fielded by the Ebervale fullback Barry Edwards. A lovely catch on the run under some pressure, with the All Blacks steaming up on the port bow. Now will this be a long one to the back of the line out to Lahore? Could well be. It is indeed. Up he goes, followed by Dennis Hughes. Picked up by Jennings, slipped to going. And away come those counties forwards. Hacked on by Ken Jones, the centre. McCormick going back on the halfway line. And the whistle's gone. They've got to scrum it down dead centre, or very nearly dead centre. And a good attacking position this for the All Blacks, who can attack on either side. Lahore working around the blind side, giving it to Walker Nathan. Brushing off a tackle. There's rather slipshod defence here. Slipping it to Sam Strawn. Tremaine going, and he's clobbered to Curtin, coming around the blind side, running into Nathan, accidental offside, and the whistle has to go. Looked there for a moment as if Walker Nathan, this tremendous Maori forward, was going to shrug off some rather indeterminate counties tackling on the blind side. County's defence in the first half was tremendously fiery and spirited, notably so in midfield as well, whenever the All Blacks ran it to their centres. Paul Watts momentarily in trouble, the Newport flanker. Glenn Turner putting it into the counties. And a penalty for offside against the All Blacks. Taken by Edwards. Yes, it's another good one. And it didn't look to be 5 yards. The referee was satisfied. Ken Gray with it here. Major piling in. Look at the way they slip it. Lovely picture of it. Tremaine going, looking for the open side break. Kicking back towards the corner. It's touch in goal. And a drop out on the 25. Well, that was Laurie Daniels trying a sharp one underneath the All Black noses, just by the touchline. The referee has pulled them back for a scrum centre. May well have been a man in front. So the minutes are going by in the second half, and there's still 6 points the difference between these two teams. And Watts it is again in trouble. I think he's going to need some first aid. Well, much to the credit of this Monmouthshire pack here, with Brian Price leaping successfully at the line out, inspired by Dennis Hughes, their captain and pack leader, going like terriers into the ruck and not giving away a great deal in the open phases, being shoved a little bit in the tight, but not so far giving anything away on their own head. 6 minutes gone in the second half. Kelvin Tremaine 12, Lahore 13, who must be marked down as another great All Blacks captain. What a man to follow, Wilson Winneray, one of the greatest of all time, perhaps the greatest touring captain. Ken Gray there, number 2. Very tall man for a prop, 16 stone, and very fast as well, on the loose head side. 12-6 then. Nearly 7 minutes gone in the second half. Going, putting it in for the All Blacks on the Monmouthshire 25. Beautiful heel. Going to Cottrell, to Davis, and McCormick up in the line, couldn't handle the pass. Picked it up well, recovered. Slippery as an eel, this little man going, looking for a blindside break, doubling back. Well checked by the counties. And the whistle has to go. Nice bit of scrambling by the counties forwards. And the All Blacks get the put in. I should think that might well be Watts again in trouble. No, it's not. He's on his feet. It's another counties forward. It's the bearded Arthur Hughes, the open side flank forward, brother of the captain Dennis. Another man who scored 100 tries in top-class football, like Kelvin Tremaine. Paul Watts has gone off for a moment. I think he'll be back. It would be a sorry thing indeed for this counties side if they were to lose a man for any length of time now. But they must now, if they weren't already at half-time, be beginning to think in terms of a historic win, with only 2 more matches to be played by this hitherto invincible side. A side which many of the pundits reckon is the best they've ever seen. I've never seen a better one than this. And let's face it, they have 12 internationals out today, so there can be no excuses afterwards if they lose. Going, serving Curtin, going forwards. Cottrell to Curtin again. This is how it went against Scotland. Curtin coming inside. Curtin. Oh, it's going to be a marvellous try for Curtin. Almost a replica of their magnificent try at Murrayfield last Saturday, when Curtin came outside his inside centre, but on that occasion eventually handed on to Davis, who sped for the line. What a magnificent individual effort by Curtin. And the counties defence just wasn't up to it on that occasion. So 12-9, and this really looks rather different. Fergie McCormick taking this kick, about 4 yards in from touch. Just pulled it. So it's 12 points to 9, the first try of the match, the 48th try of the New Zealand tour, incidentally. And McCormick's tally on the tour now stands at 114. Four penalty goals to Monmouthshire, 2 of the same to New Zealand, plus 1 try, 12 points to 9. Didn't cross the 10 yards line, and the All Blacks opt for a scrum back centre. It's about half an hour to glory for this county side now. Only 3 points the difference. Sid going for the All Blacks. Cottrell, Davis, McCormick making the overlap, and here goes Thorne. Brushing off the centre. Inside to Walker Nathan, who couldn't quite collect the pass. 10 yards out from the line. And this county pack, a man short, minus Paul Watts, their flank forward, bound to be under very considerable pressure now. Short line out. Here goes going through. It's almost there, forwards in support. Picked up by Strawn. Tremaine is checked. Back on the county side to Brian Price. Can't quite get it into touch. It's in touch now. And Watts has just come back again. New Zealand ball. County's pulling a man out of the pack. It's very, very close to the line. Oh, what a beautiful heel. Going through the gap. He's over. Is he over? Let's watch the referee. Was he tackled just short? Yes, they're scrumming it back. He was tackled short, and his momentum didn't carry him over the line. Desperately close thing. This New Zealand power beginning to mount now. And a penalty against the New Zealand hooker, Barry Edwards. That's fair enough, it's into the wind. And the way these All Blacks are beginning to go now, it's not difficult to foresee the county's line being under siege for a bit. Short one to Gray, going straight out to Cottrell. Up come those forwards, it's hacked on by Arthur Lewis. Steele going back for it, into touch. Was that straight? Brian Price standing right back from the line out. Ken Jones getting a boot to it. Thorne brushing off the tackle. Down to Barry Edwards, just inside his 10-yard line. It's mistouch, McCormick. And so's he. Laurie Daniels, Pontypool captain. Widening his angle a little bit. Taking it high up onto the roof of the stand. 12-9. Midway between the 25, Monmouthshire 25 and the halfway line. Penalty for barging at the line out. Barry Edwards to take it. Oh, it's a beauty. A real good one into the wind. So it's just out from the All Blacks 25. Graham Thorne throwing in, a man who was picked for the tour before he played for his province, Auckland, going for the short one again to Gray. Just going, and Curtin really upended. Cottrell. Here goes Turner, clobbered on the halfway line by Nathan. The whistle has gone for an offence about 15 yards away. There's still a great deal of spirit and pace left in this county side up front. Just out from the 25, about midfield. Oh! Dummy scissors, and it miscued very badly. Walker Nathan capitalising on it. The Evervale halfbacks who ought to know each other's play pretty well, making rather a mess of that one. And they'll very much want to win on their own head. They look to have it a little bit on the retreat.
And it's going offside.
That's fair enough, it's into the wind. The way these All Blacks are beginning to go now, it's not difficult to foresee the counties line being under siege for a bit. Short one to Gray, going straight out to Cottrell. Up come those forwards, it's hacked on by Arthur Lewis. Steele going back for it, into touch. Was that straight? Brian Price standing right back from the line out. Ken Jones getting a boot to it. Thorne brushing off the tackle. Down to Barry Edwards just inside his 10-yard line. He's mistouch, McCormick. And so's he. Laurie Daniels, Pontypool captain. Widening his angle a little bit. Taking it high up onto the roof of the stand. 12-9. Midway between the 25, Monmouthshire 25 and the halfway line. Penalty for barging at the line out. Barry Edwards to take it. It's a beauty. A real good one into the wind. So it's just out from the All Blacks 25. Graham Thorne throwing in, a man who was picked for the tour before he played for his province, Auckland, going for the short one again to Gray. It's going, and Curtin really upended. Cottrell. Here goes Turner, clobbered on the halfway line by Nathan. The whistle has gone for an offence about 15 yards away. And there's still a great deal of spirit and pace left in this county's side up front. Just out from the 25, about midfield. Oh! Dummy scissors, and it miscued very badly. Walker Nathan capitalising on it. The Evervale halfbacks who ought to know each other's play pretty well, making rather a mess of that one. Glyn Turner, 20-year-old scrum half, and it's going. That's one against the head, and here goes Brian Lahore giving it to Walker Nathan. There's old Curtin slipping it to Lahore again. It's 20 yards out from the line, an interception by Ken Jones, the centre. Can't quite get it. Yes, it is. In touch. Flags up. And the county's defence pretty seriously stretched there. Lahore and Nathan storming through the middle. Now, can the counties hold out? And another penalty against the All Blacks for a line-out offence. Jarrett tossing it to the full-back. Just under 25 minutes left now. And another good kick for touch by Barry Edwards brings them up to the halfway line. Comes Paul Watts, coming down on McCormick and nailing him on the 25. Not quite, but the counties have gained a lot of ground. Certainly haven't run out of steam, these counties forwards, and what a remarkable thing it would be. Still early to say, of course, if the All Blacks should lose their unbeaten record on the same ground where they were beaten for the only time 4 years ago. Nicely back from the line out, and Glyn Turner doing well to try and put it back into touch, but he's missed, and the whistle has gone anyway for a put-in to the New Zealanders just out from their 25. And on the put-in, the county's backs lying very flat in defence. Lahore standing off from the scrum. Magnificent player he is. Giving it to Thorne. And in they pile that county's pack. Trying to kill the loose ball, and it's roughing up. And the referee in trouble too. And a penalty against the All Blacks. From a very kickable position. A lot of booing from the crowd. And Keith Jarrett taking this kick from nearly the 10-yard line. It must be all of 45 yards, including the angle. And this half, of course, he's got this quite stiff breeze to contend with. Just 18 minutes gone in this second half. Keith Jarrett taking his time, as he's entitled to do. He can't take too long, of course. The referee is always fully entitled to say you've taken too long over a kick and declare it null and void. Now, can he get it? No, he sliced it. It was Tremaine under it. And Tremaine for the second time making a mess of a kick for touch. How does it bounce? Picked up by the fly half, Grindle, and put back into touch very near the 25. Well, that's not the sort of error-free rugby that Fred Allen would have his side play. There's no doubt that the New Zealand line-out work today has not been as clean and as incisive as it normally you'd expect it to be, and for that all credit, of course, to the counties. Going then again, New Zealand put in. This is McCormick coming in as an additional out half. Long kick down to the 25. Barry Edwards. Safely into touch. 10 yards out from the 25-yard line. And the Counties still leading by 12 points to 9. And very nearly now in the fourth and last quarter of the match. Going. Curtin. Underneath that is the fullback, and he misses it this time, Barry Edwards. Cottrell is there, and now we'd expect the ball to come back on the black side, shall we? No, it's back on the Counties side, but it's very, very close to the line. And they've got it, going out on the blind side. Curtin trying to go through, losing the ball. Touchdown, and 20 minutes have gone, and it's a scrum. 5 yards out. And the New Zealanders missing a chance there with at least one overlap. Never in. McCormick is coming into the line at inside centre, I think. Holding it, pushing it. Are they going for a pushover try? No, he's lost it. Lahore's lost it, going for the blindside try. And this time it's the Counties put in, and this is really desperate stuff for the Monmouthshire 15. And here's a heel that their hooker Wilkins must get on his own head. Almost on the line. And the scrum half fails to find touch. Thorne, Steele rather, trying to find a way through. Lahore checked. the county's line really under siege here. It's their throw in through the hands of Steele. Curtin giving instructions to his backs outside him. McCormick threatening to come in wide down the line. There'll be a long throw here to Lahore. There it comes. Lahore gets it back to Gray. This thunderous man Gray back to going. Well checked by the scarlet jerseys. Can the New Zealanders ruck it from here? Whistle goes. And it's a scrummage. Again, it's Glyn Turner to put it in. The counties here must be dying for breathing space. A relieving touch kick up to the 25. Wilkins has got to get the hook. He's got it, but going back a bit. And that'll be a 5-yard scrum. So going this time for the All Blacks. And what are the All Blacks going to do with it this time if they get the expected heel? McCormick threatening once again to come in at inside centre. Lahore standing off from the scrum. They've got a beautiful heel. McCormick comes blind, steps it out to Steele, and he's over. Steele is over. The left wing 10 yards in. And that squares the match off at 12 points all after 23 minutes in the second half. This relentless All Black pressure now beginning to tell. So McCormick to take this kick from about 15 yards in. A very kickable position. You've got to allow a little bit for the breeze, aiming a little towards the right-hand post. Not much. 114 points he scored so far in 10 games. Today is being his 10th appearance. And if he gets this, of course, the All Blacks are in front for the first time. Oh! Just outside the near post. Couldn't have been much closer. So the New Zealanders have scored 2 tries to Monmouthshire's none. And it's all square. 12 points all. Walker Nathan. Bill Davis. Haven't seen a lot of him this afternoon. Ball hasn't run his way very much. It's Howells underneath it for the counties. Comes out to Dennis Hughes. Does well to get it out to Keith Jarrett. Well tackled by Thorne. Jarrett's role this afternoon has been almost exclusively that of goal kicker. I think that's the first time he's had the ball in his hand all day, apart from placing the ball for a kick at goal. Grindle, Mike Grindle of Ebervale, running that into touch, number 10. 15 minutes left. 12 all. All Blacks 10 yards line. Curtin from going. Curtin again, the long high kick. A little bit too straight downfield. Has it a very nasty one for Edwards. He recovers well. But the referee reckoned he just knocked that on his 25. And judging by Edwards' reaction, the player agreed with him. Only just slightly. But a fair knock on. And here's another dangerous attacking situation for the All Blacks. McCormick already up in the line. Going, Curtin, Cottrell, Steele in the line as well. It's Arthur Hughes, well out to Jarrett. To the other wing, it's Daniels. Daniels covering extremely well. Laurie Daniels of Pontypool. coming across from one wing to the other. So we're back to the All Blacks 10 yards line. Wasn't straight, the throw in drifting off course in the breeze. Little kick by Curtin for Thorne. Well played, the fullback Edwards. He looks pretty fast, this Graham Thorne, 21-year-old centre as he was when he was picked for the tour. I dare say we shall hear a lot more about him in the future. Gray. Oh, missing out his inside centre. Gray again. Jennings, the lock forward. Kick for Steele. It's down to the Monmouthshire 25. Tremendous support now for the Monmouthshire side from their own crowd. Brian Price not quite able to get clean possession. Howells is caught with it. And in they go for the ruck. Going, trying to fish somebody out. As he was well entitled to do, it was Gareth Howells. Getting a little bit steamed up about the whole episode. Not put in straight. A penalty for Barry Edwards to take. And he makes a hash of that one. Curtin trying a long drop goal. Not a bad effort, but he's pulled it over the dead ball line for a 25. With 12 minutes to go, the scoreboard showing level pegging, 12 points all, and I must say it's difficult quite to see how the counties can find another score at the moment. Here comes Jarrett. Oh, Ken Jones not quite able to pick that up. Walker Nathan is there, looking for support. He's still got it, what a strong man he is. The All Blacks moving it across the field, but the whistle is gone. And it's there put in, 15 yards out from the Monmouthshire 25. One against the head, but it wasn't cleanly in and out. I doubt if the All Blacks will be all that satisfied with their performance here this afternoon. But the fact is they've scored 2 tries to none. Monmouthshire just managing 4 penalty goals from Jarrett. And a penalty here for the All Blacks against the hooker for lowering in the scrum. Lahore tossing it to Fergie McCormick. Well within his range with the breeze behind him. It's about somewhere between 40 and 45 yards. Monmouthshire 10 yards off, standing absolutely motionless. Has he got it? He has! He's got it! McCormick strikes for the All Blacks, who lead now by 15 points to 12. A very crucial kick that for the All Blacks, and in fact they're ahead now for the first time this afternoon. 9 minutes to go. Now can we see a last supreme effort by this county side? Perhaps it's asking a bit too much. They've certainly given all they've got this afternoon, and the All Blacks get another penalty for an offence on the ground. And McCormick taking it on his own 10-yard line. New Zealand 15, Monmouthshire 12. Under 10 minutes left. Counties 25, Monmouthshire 25 rather. Curtin doing very well to come inside there, hoisting a nasty kick. Edwards underneath it on his own line, and he's missing it, and it's picked up. Oh, by Cottrell, who lost control of it. Steele got his hand on the ball, but it must be a 25. That was a very lucky let-off for Monmouthshire. Laurie Daniels, drop-kicking, second or third bounce, straight into touch, gaining quite a bit of ground, up to the 10-yard line. And it seems a long time now since Monmouthshire were within really striking distance of the All Blacks line. It's Walker Nathan hunting from the line out. And another penalty from almost the same spot. And needless to say, the same kicker. And if this one goes over too, it really would be rubbing salt into the wound for Monmouthshire. Again, it's about 40 to 45 yards. 7 minutes left. 15-12 at the moment to the All Blacks. And he's pulled it this time. It's a 25 dropout. Larry Daniels having half a mind to take the dropout himself, letting his fly half Grindle have it. Oh, picked up by Tremaine. And there's one that didn't come off. Here goes Tremaine. And that's Major coming up. Tremaine. Oh, my goodness, what a try. What a try by Tremaine. Well, I said earlier that when he was within reach of the line, there was no more dangerous forward. A stupendous, powerful burst by this All Black flanker. Played such a glorious game against Scotland last Saturday. And that, I should think, settles the hash of Monmouthshire. It's a third try. The All Blacks have scored this afternoon to none by their opponents. Increases their lead to 6 points, 18-12. McCormick from about 20 yards in. No, rather less, 15 yards. Probably in business with this. No, the wind didn't quite come to his aid. So it's 6 points the difference, 18 points to 12. 5 minutes to go. 3 tries to none. So there can be no argument if this is the final result. There can be no argument about its justice. Here he comes, Brian Lahore, Tremaine again. Long kick down to the corner, Barry Edwards coming across, up comes Steele, the flyer on the left wing. Davis coming down, knock on was it? By the fullback? No. Yes it was. Referee not reacting, just a little peep on his whistle. Commodore Lamb handling this match with calm dexterity. And again, a very dangerous situation here for Monmouthshire. Right down in the corner. Everybody's threatening to come in the line. Steele, the blindside wing, and McCormick. They've got it. Here goes going. Dummy. No, it wasn't a dummy, Simmers. Curtin knocking it on. Lahore going back for it. Certainly the All Blacks have made more mistakes today than they would normally reckon to do. 4 minutes to go. Well, they've got it, but they're going back. Oh, they're trying to wheel it. And it's Turner who hacks it into the touch. About all he could do. This Countess pack, outweighted, has been under considerable pressure in the tight and has done pretty well, really, not to give away more than, I think, 1, perhaps 2 against their own head. Or rather, on their own head. So here's Steele. New Zealanders, you'll notice, 10 yards in from touch. Here goes Walker Nathan. Arthur Lewis. Ken Jones coming up. McCormick on the Monmouthshire 10 yards line, failing to find touch. Barry Edwards for Monmouthshire. And for Monmouthshire, the problem, as it's been for a long time, to fashion some sort of worthwhile possession. They've had precious little of it. 3 minutes to go. Precious little good possession for quite some time now. Let's see whether they can make something of this line out. Here goes Curtin. Good acceleration. Kick down to Edwards, the mark, inside his 25. That's in touch. Lahore's under it. Not a spectacular player, Lahore, but what a fine one. Calm, quiet, massive, always in the right place with a wonderful positional sense. Steele out of this shot, throwing into the line out. Ken Gray looking for support, trying to slip it to Tremaine, to Lahore. There goes Tremaine. New Zealand put in. No, it's the other side. The referee coming through the front rows. So it's Glyn Turner on the Monmouthshire 10-yard line. Very little time left now. They've got it. Trying to work the blind side. Arthur Lewis. No, it's the fullback coming the line. Barry Edwards. Slipped back by Tremaine. Here goes Jennings, the lock forward, using all his power. Paul Watts slipping it back to his wing. The referee pulling them closer touch to the point of the infringement. And again, it's the put in for Monmouthshire. 18-12. 1 minute to go, plus injury time in this second half, and with Tremaine bearing down on him, Barry Edwards slicing his kick a little bit into touch. The New Zealand power really has told in this second half, a remorseless build-up of pressure. The ball has been lost on this side of the field. They're waiting for another one to arrive. Almost in injury time now. Jennings foiled at the line out. And Tremaine, we've seen a great deal of him in the second half. Tremaine in trouble in front of the crowd there. I got a fleeting impression as he disappeared under the crowd that he may have got an arm or a hand somewhere near his eye. 40 minutes gone in the second half, and the crowd are beginning to run wild coming onto the pitch, and they'll have to be cleared off because it's certainly not no side yet. Seems to me the entire junior population of Newport are coming onto the field, and the law is taking a hand and sending them back again. Well, that's a very unusual thing to see on a rugby field. And mobbing Jarrett. They'll have to wait just a moment until everybody's off the enclosure. The referee won't let them go on for a moment. Almost clear now. Is that straight? It's one for the centres. It's taken by Arthur Lewis with Ken Jones outside him. Here's the last chance. Is it Ken Jones? Can't quite escape the tackle of Davis in midfield. Jennings piling through. Here goes the scrum half. Turner. And that's just about the only time in the match that one of these Monmouthshire centres has had the ball and has been able to put his ears back and really go. But even then, the All Blacks' defence was good enough. Here goes Ken Gray again from that line out. My goodness me, what a burst. Slipping it to Walker Nathan. Walker Nathan losing it. Major is there. Lahore is there. Lahore picking it up again and slipping it out to it's Muller. Muller, the top forward, who scores. Well, it's irresistible stuff. Gray, Lahore, And finally, after Nathan, Muller, the power man, 17 stone of him in this All Blacks pack. It's the fourth try, 4 tries to none. Monmouthshire really can't argue about it, although they must have had dreams of glory at half-time when they led by 12 points to 6. Generous applause from this knowledgeable Welsh crowd when they see a fine piece of rugby. In the 42nd minute, McCormick tries to make it 23-12. And he has. Referee looking at his watch, or is he writing in his notebook? Doing both, no doubt. And still a little bit of play left. So a case here, 23 points to 12 of the All Blacks being threatened, but only threatened with their first defeat of the tour. Monmouthshire kicking off again, taken by Sam Strawn, who made a mark, but got rid of it just to be on the safe side. So here he has a second shot. Tall, rangy lock who plays with beads in the test side. Comes from Manawatu, lovely names they play for. Wairarapa, Lahore, Manawatu, Taranaki, Waikato. Romantic names. This is Jarrett. And well, he might try an up and under. Why not? Not a bad one either, and it's bounced back nicely for them. But no, they can't get very clean possession. On the halfway line. Going, very quick service to Curtin. Is McCormick up in the line on the blind side? What an eager attacker this McCormick is. Can't keep him out of it. In the 44th minute now of the second half, and there can't be very much time remaining. The light beginning to go. Quite a chilly evening. Little bit of drizzle beginning to fall, just a drop or two. Going, putting it in on the Monmouthshire 10-yard line. Up comes Curtin, going at full pressure on the blind side. Curtin very nearly through, slipping it to Walker Nathan. No, not quite. Up to the 25. Whistle's gone. Monmouthshire put in. Definitely a match today where the All Blacks have reserved their best for the second half. McCormick picking up very well just inside the Monmouthshire half, but he's caught. And here's a counter-attack. That's it. That's the end. Crowds swarming on the pitch to engulf the players. And this magnificent All Black side led at half-time by 6 points, 4 penalty goals to 2. Providing a very emphatic answer in the second half, scoring 4 tries to none and beating a very gallant Monmouthshire side who made a noble effort, they really did, but beating them by that final score, 23 points to 12.